Kathleen McGivern, and today we're going to be diving in on how to photograph and document your art as an artist. So let's dive in on this episode. I'm going to give you the steps for photographing and documenting your art, and then also letting you know what tools and equipment you're going to need to get this job done, so you can do it professionally, so you can build your artist portfolio. So let's dive on into this episode and let's get inspired. Alright, so the first thing you're going to need is a camera and lenses. So if you're doing photographs, photo documenting, you're going to need yourself a camera, preferably one that has interchangeable lenses. So your traditional point and shoots, which really don't exist very much anymore, get yourself a camera. If you want something simple, I would just get a mirrorless camera. That's currently what I'm using and filming with, is a Canon mirrorless camera. So the EOS mirrorless series. And that way they're a little bit more compact. They're not so big and bulky that if you're not a photographer and you're just wanting to get some professional quality pictures of your art, you can get the EOS mirrorless series. So one of the downsides to having a mirrorless camera is that you cannot take an Canon EF series lens and put it on the EOS M series, the mirrorless camera, right? It's gonna be too big to fit on the lens. So you can actually, what I do is that I put any EFS Canon lens on my mirrorless camera, because I have a EF to EOS M adapter, a mount adapter. So I have a little piece that goes onto my camera first. That's the mount adapter, the EF to EOS M mount adapter. So it fits on the small end, but then the other end on the other side is bigger, so that way I can then attach the regular lens to it, and then my camera can host any EF lens size. And that means that I have some that are like big for documenting or photographing wild birds, which looks really crazy because the Canon mirrorless cameras are so small. It has this tiny little box with it, like all you see is lens. But I'm not like super, I just do it for fun, right? So I don't know what to do with a normal camera. But you might be wanting a normal camera and therefore you don't need the mount adapter. You can just grab yourself a different Canon lenses or whatever company that you like. I have, right now I'm videoing with this one that I'm taking, is a 50mm that is doing the video right now, which is really great for obviously my portraits, but also it's blurring out the background, which might be nice if you're doing sculptures, right? Something that you're focusing on a focal point or a feature, and then everything else is a little bit more blurred out in the background. It's really crisp and clear, as you can see, and it's super quick. I love it. So I think that is a really nice lens. I would use that for sculpture. I would use that for portraits. And then for what I've been using for my documenting is I use the one that came with my camera. But I also like this EFS 24mm. But anyways, you want to have a couple different lenses to try to help you just get going on that. But if you're wanting to have a little bit more cost savings, just get yourself a mirrorless if it's not important to you to have the mirrored ones or those big rebels. Now, if you want to invest in that, you can, but just having like a nice quality lens is really helpful. Plus the megapixels are really improving on those mirrorless cameras. They're pretty crazy. So it's really, I would say it's a great way to start. Now, if you're looking for any of the cameras or camera lenses that I mentioned, or the mount adapter, you can find the links to those in the description below. I'll have all my recommendations for this video of what I talk about in the description. I'll link to them in the description below, and I'll have them all organized. I just know that they are Amazon affiliate links. That means that if you do make a purchase, I do get a commission. But I'm only going to be recommending things that I've owned for years and I bought because I need them. So I'll cover everything from the cameras, the lenses that I use and own, to also tripods, the lighting, the backdrops, everything. I own them myself, so I'm only recommending things that I actually do use and I actually like. There's a difference, because I own some of them, other ones, and I don't like them, so I'm not going to recommend them. All right, so the other thing is that if you're interested in photo documenting or doing videography of your process, I do also use my mirrorless camera for that. I also have a GoPro, so I obviously am filming for YouTube. So in my studio, I'm using my mirrorless, and it's on my tripod. Now, tripods do make a difference. Invest in a good one. Before I move on to number 2, the other thing that you do need to go with your camera is a tripod. So tripods make a difference. A cheap tripod makes a huge big no-no compared to a good one. Now, I have had the unfortunate incident of knocking a tripod and my camera going nose diving onto the ground, which did not destroy my camera. My body's okay, was okay, but my lens was smushed. It was not fixable. So you can imagine I had a meltdown. So it's really important to have a quality tripod. Now mine can do like upside down, so you can do like low to the ground and then high, and you can adjust it from either the legs and also the middle part in between. You can use it as a monopod if you needed to. It has a level on there, so you can make a level image, right? It has a bubble level, super important. It also has a quick connect and quick release aspect, so it has a little piece that just screws onto the bottom of your camera, and then you just quick release it and quick put it back on if you need to grab it by hand and mount it really easily instead of screwing it directly onto the tripod. So I really like that about it. It's just very well made. It was a little bit more expensive than like the cheap ones, but if you've ever had a camera nosedive, you will know not to buy a cheap tripod. But the thing is that if you're taking quality pictures, professional pictures for documenting art, if you're going to be showing galleries and curators these pictures, you want them to be still, right? You want still images that are not blurry, and therefore you're going to need a tripod. So you're going to need a camera, and you're going to absolutely need a tripod. So the one I have is my tripod is the KF Concept. It's the TM2324. The KF TM2324. That one will also be in the description below in the video. I'll list that with the cameras, so you can grab it on Amazon if you're interested in checking that one out. I think it's a pretty popular one that I see. I probably got recommended it at some point from somewhere, but it's a common, well-used one. It's a professional level tripod, and so therefore I highly recommend it based on the experience, right? It's going to be sturdy, and that's important. We don't need, you're investing a lot of money in lenses, so you don't need it to nosedive and be done. Yeah. Okay, now number 2 is lighting. So I've used various methods over the years for lighting. Now, I started making art professionally in like 2011. So you can, number 1, technology has come very far in that amount of time. Like even I started off with like my mom doing it because I didn't have a camera, and then we would like turn off the lights and like paint with the light with flashlights over a lot of exposure to get it, because I do sculptures mostly. And then we'd do that for a while, ghetto. And then and then I would do like outside lighting, which was really nice, natural light. And then I one time got Mount Dogs lighting, like with the light bulbs, with the big tent lights that you see that pop open, that have like the filter in front, which are like okay. However, they take up a huge amount of space when they're set up, because they have the stands. I'm using lighting right now, which I'm going to show you what I like. They have stands, but then once that tent, the light bulbs are like honestly this big, and I've broken 2 of them now because they've just accidentally knocked them over because they're so top. The center of gravity on these things is ridiculous. So they've knocked them over and then those light bulbs explode and then there is glass literally everywhere. They explode in a horrible way. They're like the whole halogen bulbs. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, did I just get, like, what did I just get? What did I just breathe in? And then, anyways, they just take up so much space. Like, you can just watch, you don't have anywhere to put them. I only have a small studio space, which is true to most artists. So then, like, where do you set up your rest of your stuff? So that was the old technology anyways. There wasn't a lot of options. So I stopped using those. I was doing outside, which is fine, except unless it's too bright of a day or it's rainy and I live in Vancouver. So what I have done is I've switched to, I just got these and I love them. That's what I'm using right now. You need 2. So you're gonna need a pack of 2 lights because you're gonna need one on either side. Now my lighting for what you're seeing right now is about to get looking really weird because I'm gonna show you my lights. Okay, so I have 2 of these. These are LED panels. I have one that's lighting me up and you can see my behind me is green. The other one is lighting up behind me so my wall changes color. So you can see what the difference is when there's no light on me and when you put light on the subject, it really changes the quality, doesn't it? Right? Junk lighting or just like natural lighting. Oh, I look terrible, but now I look spicy. Okay, so that's true for your art as well. So this one is small. Look how skinny it is. It's skinny. Wait till it folds up. This is just like shutters so you can see. These are just shutters so that way you can control how much light goes in and out. Look at that. Here's my face beside it. Now you can see the scale a little better. That's the back. So it just has, you can manually adjust the controls on the back of it. If you wanted to, or on and off. Tells you the stuff, like the percentage of light and dark, how much light. Now here's the thing, the reason why I like this is because with your light bulbs ones, with the tent, the old traditional ones, just a light bulb, and you like fuse it with a tent, you can only get whatever kind of light is depending on the quality of light, the warmth and the coolness, and how bright it is dependent on your light bulb. With these ones are the newer lights. They are a 2-pack. I got the RGB ones, the RGB LED lights, because now LED exists. Like I said, technology has changed. These are RGB LED ones. Now you probably don't need the RGB ones if you don't need colors. Which if you're just photo documenting your art, you don't need the colors. I'm also using it for video, and I think the color background is spicy, so obviously I got that one. But these are newer, NEEWER, and mine are the RGB ones, but they also have just the white only. The RGB ones, the RGB LEDs can switch from just doing white, so one of mine is on white and just light, that's on me, and the other one I have on color mode for the background. But you can do color matching. So basically what happens is that you control it from your phone on an app. I know, you can control lights on your phone. What? And so if I, for my color one, I have a color wheel. I can pick the light. Yeah, isn't that sick? I know. This is why I bought it. And also, it's also if you watch my art studio tour, or sorry, art studio makeover video, you can see, you'll watch my old videos and be like, oh my gosh, your studio is a disaster, and then see why I had to move my entire studio around just to get this blank little space of wall. But it's not big, it's a little tiny space of wall behind me that's blank, because this is what I wanted to do. And all, because you gotta admit, it's really cool, right? So you can pick your color, put it back on green. All right, but also my other one I have on white. So you can change the brightness. So I can put on, this is 100%. And then you can do darker. So you can change how, yeah, right? Because you can't do that with a light bulb. I'm gonna go back down to 74. And you can also change the color temperature. So this is like warm. And then I'm gonna move it to the, yeah, you see, this is like really white light. Ew, I look like a zombie. Ooh, I look anemic. Probably already am, to be honest. But anyways, let's add some color back in my life. So I have it on a more of a warmer temperature. Woo! Isn't that so cool? So I advise, because it really matters for your art, the quality of light is going to change how it looks, right? Like even like on the video. When I have a shot with just my studio lights, the video looks much poorer quality than if I have a light on me. So I highly recommend that you get these specific ones. They are a bit more, you're obviously going to pay a bit more than the other style, old style with a light bulb. But you're just paying for a mounted light bulb, right? You're gonna get the exact same stand, telescoping stand. They come in the same bags. These are a lot tinier. Like you saw how big this is. This is a huge studio saver. So much smaller, but also the quality is going to affect your art as well. Like you're putting all this time into looking professional and maybe building your skills. You're going to want to have lights that make your art look good. Also not take up a huge amount of space in your studio. So these ones are the newer ones. Mine are the RGB LED 2-pack. But if you don't need the RGB part, like you don't need the changing colors part, they have just the newer LED 2-pack, right? That just do white only. That have the Bluetooth option with your phone. And those ones are obviously cheaper. The colored ones are obviously going to be a little bit more expensive. You're paying for that, right? Whereas this one is a lot cheaper. Sorry, just a white only is a lot cheaper. I don't know how much. Anyways, you can check it out. The link below will be in the description of the video. Remember, all links in there are Amazon affiliate links. Again, I get commission off of it. However, I am only telling you things that I truly, truly love. Truly love. Yeah. I mean, like, look at the quality. I think I have to fix my light here. One sec, there we go. Anyways, I truly love them, and it's worth the investment, not only for my YouTube channel, right? But also I need to photo document. What's going on here? Photo document my own art. So it's very important. All right. So my question for you is, what is one thing you do in your routine that's really important for you when it comes to photo documenting your artworks? What do you do? What's your steps? What's one thing that's really important? What's one thing you'd like to share out? Please let me know in the comment section below this video so we can all learn from each other and read all the different ideas. I think that would be great. 3 is a backdrop. Now this is probably only applicable if you're doing 3-dimensional artworks, but if you're doing 3D, you're going to need a backdrop for your sculptures or whatever it is that you're creating. You're going to need a backdrop for it, okay? There are different ways to get backdrops. You can get the fabric ones that are either black or white. I like the paper printed ones that are grayscale or value scales, like gradient ones, the gradient paper backdrops. They're usually, I got a pack that way back in the day, and I still have the same one, that go from either various versions of warm and cool and light and dark grays that go from white to gray, and then also I think there's one in there that's black to gray. So I think there's like 5 different large papers in there that are to come in a rolled up tube that they're gradients from like white to a variant of gray. And then you pin those up. You'll get something, well, you know how my lights are on those telescoping tripod sort of stands. They look like a tripod. Essentially, they'll have 2 tripods. You'll need a stand for it that has a bar across, and then you'll just pin it to the bar, or you can pin it to a wall if you were willing to sacrifice your drywall, and then have it sloping gently on a curve onto a table, right? And then you place your sculpture on there, and then you put your tripod up with your camera and then your lighting, and then you document it that way. So that way you have a nice neutral background that is going to make this beautiful gradient background. That's what you see in all the magazines when you're looking at like ceramics in a magazine, for instance. You'll see that's what the backgrounds they use. So you'll take a picture and then you're ready to go. Now, when you're documenting any of your art, whether it's 2D or 3D, you're going to want to have full scale shots, but also detail shots. So make sure that you're taking that into consideration. All right, number 4, now that you have your camera, your lenses, your tripod, your lighting, your backdrop, you're gonna set it all up and get to work taking the picture. If you wanna control your lighting fully, you're gonna turn off the lights. If you don't have any lights, you're gonna go outside to take your picture and use natural light. Maybe on a cloudier day would be great. And then you're gonna document your work. So you're gonna get your camera out, put it on its tripod, get your lighting set up, get a table, whatever it is that you're setting up on, your blank wall to hang, and then you're going to photo document your art. All right, number 5, your last step is to take an overall image and those detail shots. I've already kind of started on this, but your last step into photographing and documenting your art for your portfolio or website is to first take an overall shot. If you're doing 3D, you're going to want to take images of all sides, and then you're also want to take detail shots of important details in the work or on the sculpture. Whatever your artwork is, you're going to take some overall shots and then detail shots. Overall shots, detail shots. And then you're done. You're ready to edit and upload to your website and create your portfolio. Alright, my friend, that is it for this video. Your next video to watch is 5 steps for success as a self-taught artist. You can hit the link above or in the description of the video. I'll have a link to it there. Please make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. At 1,000 subscribers, I will do a painting of a man-eating cupcake for you in acrylic paint. At 10,000 subscribers, I will do an oil painting of a cupcake that's out of this world. And at 100,000 subscribers, I will do a giant large-scale ceramic sculpture of a cupcake, and you get to help come up with a theme for me as for those milestones. And so please make sure, again, you like and share this video, and I will see you in the next episode, which is 5 steps to success for a self-taught artist. See you there.